So hello and welcome to the video. Summer's here, so the beard has gone. It took until June for it to feel summery, but that's England for you. A few weeks back I made a video about how I pick hotels. You can find that up here and in the description below if you haven't seen it. I had intended in that video to talk about the major hotel booking engines, but I got distracted waffling on about breakfasts. So instead I've decided to make a dedicated video about them and which one you should use. It's quite a meaty topic, as you can probably tell up front from the length of this video, but it is quite an interesting one. In that first video I made reference to another video I made about BA holidays, which is linked up here and also in the description below. I won't repeat everything I said in that video, but there are some significant advantages to booking with BA holidays, not least the fact that by doing so you may end up with the lowest price possible for the hotel element of your stay. But if you aren't based in the UK or don't want to book a package, which booking engine should you choose? And should you use one at all? And at the end of this video I'll reveal which one I am going to be using going forward. So stick around! Hi, I'm Matt. Over the last 25 years I've travelled a lot. I've lived in 5 countries on 4 continents. I've flown over 1.3 million miles. I've visited over 100 countries, every American state, but I'm nowhere near done. So subscribe and perhaps you'll pick up some hacks, hints and tips to make your next trip better. In my video about picking a hotel, I said that sometimes, all things being equal, booking directly with the hotel would be the best option. It'll be easier to manage changes as there's no intermediary to confuse things. Plus, you may be able to squeeze a better deal out of the hotel as they aren't paying anyone a commission for your booking. But in the real world, all things aren't equal. And you wouldn't book directly with a hotel if they quoted you a higher price than you could get elsewhere, or if a booking engine will sweeten the deal by adding extra benefits to the reservation. So I priced up 11 hotel nights across 4 stays, both direct and using a variety of booking engines, to see what happens. These are real trips that I'm looking at, but I probably won't be staying in many of these hotels because they ended up being flaming expensive. The first stay was 4 nights at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. This priced up at over $1,000 by booking directly with the hotel. It looks like weekends in Vegas are picking up again. That's great to see, although there is no way I would pay that much to stay at that property. Hotels seem to have picked up a trick from the airlines by hiding a chunk of their revenues down amongst the taxes and fees. In this case, $71 for the room on the Thursday night looks pretty attractive. But then you have to add a $39 resort fee, which adds 55% to the room's cost. This gets you these benefits, including access to a cardio room. A cardio room, of course, is the first thing we all look for when planning a trip to Las Vegas. I consider resort fees to be a disingenuous rip-off, and I actively try to avoid properties that demand them. Interestingly, there is a growing opinion that these fees are actually illegal, and a number of lawsuits are underway. But I guess that even if they are deemed illegal, the hotels will just put the base price up by the amount of the resort fee and get their money directly instead. But I digress. So in this example, you'd add another 13.4% in taxes, so that quite attractive rate of $71 actually ends up costing you $125. Next was 3 nights in Tbilisi, Georgia. I picked the imaginatively named Hotel City. Picked largely at random, but I wanted an independent, non-chain hotel to include in the analysis. 1,071 Georgian lari, which equates to £230. Quite like that lari symbol, I don't think I'd seen it before. Next was the Hamilton Princess Hotel in Bermuda, which is a Fairmont property. 3 nights again at a quoted rate of $511 a night. Wow, Bermuda is an expensive place. Once again there's a resort fee, this time of $18, for which you get this. That is still quite sneaky, but it does feel like a bit better value. And if you're wondering, a jitney is a shared taxi that they'll use to take you to and from their private beach. 12% is then added in taxes, making a total of $1,800. A stupid amount to spend on a hotel anywhere, if you ask me, but I wanted to include somewhere posh. Pricing up 11 nights might sound a bit odd, but there was a very good reason for that, as we'll see shortly. And that 11th night was a stay in London at the Park Plaza County Hall. I picked that as I recently stayed there, as you can see in this video. £162 for a night when buying directly, although you do have to be a member of the Radisson's reward programme to get that rate. It is free and easy to sign up for that programme, so this is the rate that you would be able to get. Which prompts a general point about booking internationally branded hotels. If you book through an intermediary, these nights almost certainly won't count for status in the hotel's loyalty programme. Nights only qualify when bought and paid for directly. That's not a big deal for me, as I discussed in that hotel video, but it could be for you. And you may not receive status benefits you're entitled to if you book your stay through an intermediary. Sometimes you will, but most times you won't. So in total that's 11 nights for £2,381. Right, so that's the cost of the hotels when you book directly. Let's take a look at the first of the booking engines, and let's start with the one that I am using the most at the moment, which is hotels.com. So the Mandalay Bay priced exactly the same. The Hotel City in Tbilisi was 32% cheaper, the Hamilton Princess was 12% cheaper. Finally, the Park Plaza was actually 11% more expensive, which is quite interesting and is perhaps a little unexpected. Two benefited from secret pricing. If you search when logged into their scheme, hotels.com may lower the price further for you. Hard to predict when this will happen, and hard to tell how often it happens, but it happened twice here. But it's not an accurate reflection of what it would cost if you booked the first 10 nights with hotels.com. And that's because of Hotels.com's loyalty program. It's delightfully simple. Every night you stay at a hotel booked through them, you'll get a stamp. And when you have 10 stamps, you'll get a credit for a future stay. The value of that credit is 10% of the average price paid for the 10 nights that you bought through the website. So in this example, those first 10 nights will earn you a credit of £199, which will then actually fully cover the cost of that 11th night. And that's why I costed up 11 nights. I'm struggling valiantly to keep this video as simple as possible, so I'll ignore a lot of the small print that you're probably wondering about. For example, what happens if the night you book actually costs less than the value of the credit that you have to apply against it? I'd probably keep the redemption up my sleeve and save it for a higher price night. It's a good idea. One crucial detail though is that you do need to have activity with them at least once a year to preserve your stamps. The bottom line is that you should get a 10% rebate on the price that you pay for your hotels. So that makes hotels.com 16% cheaper than booking the hotels directly. But that's not all. Hotels.com has two further benefits. The first is that they have a status scheme where after spending 10 nights through hotels.com you'll be silver and you'll get these benefits, and after 30 nights you'll be gold with these benefits. None of these are overwhelming and none of them would actually benefit you on the 4 stays we're looking at, but if you seek out properties that do offer these rewards, you might find some value from that. Finally, if you live in the UK, you can also earn Avios. If you book through this link, which is also in the description below, you'll earn 3 Avios per pound spent, as well as getting the stamp for the night. You can actually earn 6 Avios per pound if you surrender that stamp. So using the Nectar locked value of 0.8 of a p per Avio, that's another £50 in value by booking through hotels.com, which takes them to an overall saving of 18% versus booking directly with the hotels. Quite significant. Next we'll look at Expedia, but before doing so, the usual invitation to like this video if you're enjoying it, subscribe if you're new, and leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Doing all 3 really helps me to convince YouTube that my videos are worth watching. I've used Expedia a lot over the years, and they are generally my go-to site when I'm booking a flight and hotel on an airline other than British Airways. Expedia owns hotels.com, so the base pricing is going to be fairly similar. And in this case, it actually turned out to be identical. well, virtually identical, because I looked up the prices on Expedia the day after I did on hotels.com, and the exchange rate had moved a little bit in between. Hotels.com sweetens the deal with its 10% loyalty program. So what does Expedia do? Well, there's no equivalent scheme, so you're not going to save 10% on your bookings. There are member prices which do occasionally pop up, which look quite similar to the secret pricing on hotels.com, surprise, surprise. And although you can't see it on this sort of example, they do generally share the love with you when you do book a package by giving you a discount on the total price paid. Expedia does also have a loyalty program with benefits as shown here. These benefits are quite similar to the hotels.com scheme. Surprise, surprise. The points scheme though is a bit complex and a little opaque. Basically you earn 2 points for every £1 spent on a hotel reservation. And that is doubled if you make the booking through the app for some reason. It can be boosted further if you book one of the 8,000 VIP properties they have on the site, one of which is actually the County Hall Park Plaza. You earn a very paltry 1 point for every £5 spent on flight reservations. 140 points can then be redeemed for £1 off any booking pretty much. So that's a 1.4% discount rate if you book via the web, doubled if you book via the app. You'd get a completely pathetic 0.15% discount on flights. So let's be generous and let's assume we booked the first 10 nights of our stays via the app, then use the points we'd accumulated to reduce the cost of night 11, which would give us a £57 discount, taking the overall saving versus buying direct to 11%. Again, I'm resisting putting too much detail into this video, but one great advantage of Expedia is that you can turn a flight-only booking into a package by adding a hotel later if you can, and you will then still be eligible for that booking discount. This can be quite handy if you book your trips in stages. The third major booking engine is one I've never actually used, which is booking.com. So, looking at our 4 stays, the Mandalay Bay is exactly the same. Tbilisi was the same cost as booking direct, which was considerably more than the other engines. Bermuda was slightly more expensive and London was the same. So booking.com was only 1% cheaper than booking direct, which wasn't what I expected. They did offer a considerably larger range of properties than the other 2 booking engines. Indeed, there's a very prominent invitation to list your own property with them on their homepage. Don't get me started on the whole Airbnb model. If you do any Googling of booking.com, you will very quickly come across an avalanche of negativity about them, which I suspect stems from them having a large number of, well, let's call them non-professional property managers on their platform. So, do they give you any value back through their loyalty scheme? It's called the Genius scheme, and just by signing up, they'll give you a 10% discount on their Genius properties. 2 of the 4 properties in our example actually were Genius properties, but even with this discount applied, they still ended up pricing the same or higher than the price you could get through those other engines. They may have added a free breakfast in Tbilisi, but that's a very nominal value in the big picture. Booking.com does allow you though to earn 6 avios per £1 spent. Again, you have to book through a link, and that link is in the description below. This will claw back perhaps £100 worth of value using that 0.8 of a p valuation, which makes them 9% cheaper than booking direct and brings them within £50 of Expedia's total cost. But they're still a long way behind hotels.com. So that's the 3 main booking engines covered. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about how long this video is. There are lots of other names in this space that you might recognise, one of which is Trivago. This isn't a booking site, rather it aggregates the prices from proper booking sites and presents them to you, scraping a small commission from those sites if you click through and go ahead and make a booking. As you can see from looking at our Tbilisi property through Trivago, the 3 sites it recommends are the 3 that we've already looked at. I did read suggestions online that Trivago might tinker the ordering of the options it presents to you based on the rates of commission that it receives. As the price and any benefits comes from the booking engine rather than from Trivago, they're really not adding a lot of value to this process. And as the value of the reward scheme can end up being quite significant, Trivago isn't showing you this, so may actually give you a misleading picture of the overall cost to you. It's not a site I have been routinely looking at. But with holiday destinations such as Las Vegas, some travel agents block buy inventory and then sell it on at a price that is then disconnected from the prevailing rate the hotel might be charging. I looked at the Mandalay Bay in Vegas through Trivago and found a UK travel agent called destination2.co.uk that was offering the same nights for £578, which is a 22% discount. I have no idea who Destination 2 is, whether they're reputable, whether that booking would go all the way through to completion, and indeed whether they'd be any good if anything went wrong and you needed to change things. And I'm sure there's no loyalty program or Avios on offer. But Trivago is good at winkling out these odd opportunities, so could be a very good place to monitor if you are very price focused and don't mind taking a little bit of a risk on booking through someone that you've never heard of. So let's wrap this up. 11 nights is a relatively small sample, so results may certainly vary, but I think these conclusions are pretty valid. So from this hugely scientific analysis, I am going to stick with booking through BA holidays whenever possible. When I can't book through them, I will book with hotels.com because they are the cheapest and I've been very satisfied with my experience of using them to date. Interestingly, they were actually the cheapest even before you took account of effectively getting that 11th night for free. I will also keep an eye on Trivago because they may throw out an interesting option such as the one they showed with the Mandalay Bay in Vegas. Plus they are a pretty quick way of seeing the pricing offered by those big three booking engines without having to go to each of them individually. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope that was interesting and useful. Leave me a comment if there's an engine that you use that I haven't talked about. I'd be really fascinated to hear your view on all of this. And as I've said, like and subscribe. It would really help me out. So thanks for watching and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.